Have you ever wondered what a Rockford Files episode would look like if it was made today? I can't say that I have either. But Ricky Glore and Eric M. Hunter, they sure have. And they're here to tell us all about their new project, which is just started its Indiegogo campaign. And you can help out and contribute and get some pretty cool stuff. Because they are doing 2 movies, we've decided to make this a 2-part episode. Yeah, I'll let them say more. And now it is my privilege to present to you Mr. Ricky Glore, the man who made me come out of retirement to do this podcast.
I'm so glad. Gosh, I am learning so much because we have already talked for 18 minutes.
Nobody's
No shit. I'd also like to introduce Eric M. Hunter as well.
Thank you.
I'm Eric M. Hunter. Ricky, talk.
Hi.
Say your name.
I'm Ricky Glore.
Everybody knows our voices now.
Yeah.
John Parker, everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, that's me. Yeah.
I didn't know our origin story, which this ties into, I think, what we're going to be primarily talking about tonight, is I've always attributed you as being one of our first kind of investors in feature filmmaking with All Your Friends Are Dead. And you corrected me and you said, I gave no money. I gave no dollars to that movie.
Not a dime.
Good vibes. We could feel the good vibes coming in.
I said, oh, but I was on one of the podcasts that you had done to promote it and like promote the Kickstarter. And you're like, yes, that's true. You had reached out to me. I'm sorry, you take it from there. Yeah. You were like, you sent me an email that basically said, we're looking for podcasts. We're looking for interviews, anything, to get this movie going basically. Oh yeah. This sounds on track. Here's
fanfare.
Here's a press release. Here's 2 still pictures. Here's a trailer.
Exactly.
Talk to me.
Pimpin' ain't easy.
No, it absolutely is. But yeah, so you sent me that and
Absolutely not.
no, you
it's not.
Just
John
stay.
Parker,
You just stay on the lane. Yeah, I just.
Welcome back. You've been gone for too long.
Ah man, yeah. Definitely.
We should have introed you at the Welcome Back Cotter theme song.
Welcome back. Your dreams are your ticket out.
Mr. Cartier.
Mr. Cartier. Oh.
But yeah, so you sent me an email and I wrote back. Because I was literally about to email you. I'd found your information on
I'm easy to find online.
Things. Yeah, exactly.
You don't know. You don't even have to be like, oh, I swear I'm not weird.
Magazine.
I'm not like that kind of. I paid Eric M. Hunter $50 in a case of Monster. Yeah.
A case of Monster.
Now it's a thing. Now it's out there.
A thing. That's an inside joke.
But
so inside. Nobody's paying attention.
Yeah, my information's out there. And so, yeah, you said you were like, I was going to email you because I saw your trailer. And I think that's because for a moment, and it's been off and on, Joe Blow had a YouTube channel that was primarily indie horror trailers. And it was this curated, simple, just side channel from their main trailer channel or their review channels. And they picked us up. We had put it out ourselves. I don't know if I put it on my personal one or the NKY Films YouTube channel, but they had picked it up and that got so many more eyes and ears on that movie to get our measly $6,959 budget, which we were like, oh, like over $5,000. We did it. Yeah. Oh, we're doing a thing. Because we had already filmed the middle section of the movie. But yeah, you saying that you're going to reach out to me already and then me reaching out to you. I don't know that I ever knew that story. Now, you could play our first interview and we could be talking about this exact same thing.
Cut it in right here.
Yeah, and we're in a weird time loop.
But my press release that I wrote, because again, very micro budget movie, made it for $5,959. So everyone involved wore many hats.
Just have a cascade back to itself.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Motel Hell episode as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Because we did that twice.
Oh, yeah. I listened to that episode. It was a good episode.
That's right. We had to do that twice because the audio
and then you cut it up.
Through.
Yeah, but even that, like, it wasn't... I think we did it twice. I think we had an issue while we were recording. And so we had to start from the beginning. And we were already like an hour in. And then I think...
Which feels like forever with Ricky.
I enjoy my conversations with Ricky.
You see that, Eric? This is how you make new friends.
Sorry. I'm always learning
Hey,
new things.
yeah,
I'm
20.
approaching 40.
Yeah.
Always learning new things.
We Eric Hunter and I we met in first grade at Alexandria Elementary in Northern Kentucky.
Tell me your address, Ricky.
I think
What's your social security number?
that school don't exist no more. So.
Also true. That's also true.
But again, my information's out there online, stalkers. Like, no such thing as bad press. But to close the other tab from before, I still consider you as a contributor and an investor, and all your friends are dead because you promoted and you were interested in the thing, and you were talking about. I mean, not a thing you hadn't even seen. We had a conversation. You were just like, all right, sounds good. I was already interested, and then I presume that when you watched it, you were like, all right, like, oh, this isn't great, but like, I understand budgets and to a degree, like,
Why don't you
under
ask him what he
$7,000
feels about it instead of putting
Well, I
a
mean,
review in his mouth?
No, he's trying to make it easier on himself once
No.
I, tell him how I really feel.
I know,
But again,
grassroots,
right?
I mean, I've got the, you put my quote on the cover of the thing. Obviously,
It's
liked
not that
the film.
bad.
is that
John Parker, ladies and gentlemen.
why you got the? That's right. Let me. I think I can grab it from here.
Jeez, here we go. Grassroots, though, very important. This is what we're trying to do. 2 movies, grassroots. Ricky?
Better than a handful of recent studio releases and filled with much more heart. Horror obsessive.
I agree with that, too. 100%.
Yeah.
That totally, yeah. If anybody who's seen a movie in the past 5 to 10 years, you can easily say, again, taking away the fact that it's a low-budget, independent film, there is actual heart in the movie. There is, like, character development, and it's an interesting story. And the horror element kind of takes you by surprise, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially in that movie, because you're so inundated with just the story of this guy who literally has nothing, and he wants to end it all. And it is that thing. We were joking about turning 40, but it is that thing. Like, yeah, man, some people truly do go through that phase,
Sweet meats?
all the SEO.
It's okay,
But people do go through that phase sometimes, and it takes
people do go
friends,
through that
and it
phase
takes
sometimes,
family
and it
members and
takes
community to kind of bring
friends,
those
and it
people out of
takes
those
family
hellholes
members
and
and
stuff,
community
which
to
is
kind of
one
bring
of the
those
reasons
people out
why
of
I'm
those
so
hellholes and
happy.
stuff, which
that
is
the
one of the
suicide
reasons why
hotline
I'm
is at
so
the end of that
happy
film.
that the suicide
Because it's real.
hotline
Like
is
that
at
shit's,
the end
it's
of
a
that
real
film.
story. Like that shit's
Because it's real.
I mean,
That
we've
shit's,
talked
it's a
about
real
that a
story.
bunch,
Like
but
that
yeah,
shit's
Hyatt and I were extremely conscious throughout. And this, so two motifs to get into the conversation we're talking about tonight: humor and heart. That's the thing. Like, I think at the beginning we had 3 H's, and it was humor, heart, and horror. And that was pretty broad term because we're like, I think with the budgets that we're going to be able to get, that's kind of where we have to lean into. Because like, if we're going to go to crowdfunding, like we're going to have to, it has to be horror, and we have to hide, and we can't, like the story we had about Open House, a movie that didn't happen because we couldn't get our funding, and then Sweetmeats happened, and then it was just the exact opposite. It was just the exact opposite experience.
Yep.
But like, where like, I guess if we're going to make movies at these budgets and primarily do crowdfunding, we got to lean into horror in some way, and not like we can sneak in like that. It's a musical, but like, here's a sweet Pigmas poster that makes it like there is a bit of bait and switch, and that's on purpose. The Microwave Massacre movie box.
Oh my God.
Like a fucking badass box.
one of the best.
It
One of
is.
the best.
Like I
Second
I
only
have
to
that
Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall, yes.
Chopping Mall is a good one too. I have that movie on my behind me here, and I will tell you that is hands down one of the worst films that's really
Wait, Sweetmeats is better than it.
Sweet Pizza is way better than Microwave Master.
Hell yeah.
Any day of the week. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, have you seen
I've
the worst
watched
movie ever?
Sweetmeats more than once,
Sweetmeats is
so
better
you
than
know
that.
it's good.
Tell the
So
press.
am
Put
I.
that on the newspaper.
So has Nick Hines. As much as he will be like, oh, he's like, I can't fucking do that.
That was
anymore.
very funny. God, what was like the second showing? I think.
Oh yeah.
And the talking about the movie afterwards,
The
and
Q&A.
like what you liked and what you didn't like, and the whole time he's like, "This movie is terrible." Why do you people keep seeing better things in this movie? It's terrible.
He cannot look beyond, and he's not ever saying anybody else's faults. Like, I can look at a few things where I'm just like, I should have put more time and effort into that or figuring that out, where maybe in evolving, wear less hats, which is kind of what we're getting to now. But he only looks at his faults, and it's like a fucking jackhammer. Like, he just sees them glaringly, especially on a big screen, and he hears them, and he has tetanitis. So when he hears something he doesn't like, it hurts even more. Like, if that's not Shakespearean, like, that's why I love each of my friends in very different, unique ways that I don't think like any of them ever have blended into one or the other. And that's why I really like doing stuff together with them, like with Hyant, who I've been with a friend since senior year of high school, Hunter since first grade. We were told to bring comics. We were told not to bring comics. We were told to bring books, your favorite book from home in first grade.
So we brought comic books.
Well, and the four of us in a group, Josh, I can't think of his last name.
What's your social security number?
Smith, Nick Prince, Eric Hunter, and me, we all brought comic books. And so what was it, the first edition of Captain Planet?
Yep.
Or the first.
Got in a cereal box. Had to staple it together because I read it so many times the pages fell apart. I had to staple it together.
I think Prince brought an X-Men the Animated Series comic, or Josh did, and I think that
was the one that mine was stapled. It was the first one with Bishop in it.
Yeah, yeah. Uncanny, yeah.
Man, isn't that the Sweden run?
I haven't thought about that in years.
Is that the Joss Sweden run? Is that when Bishop?
No,
don't think so. Did he do the Adventures? Did he do the Fox?
No. Just the
X-Men.
No, Joss Whedon did a run of comics. I think he might have done Age of Apocalypse, but maybe I'm misremembering. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Comics in the 90s.
I'm throwing.
That's
facts.
where I was.
None of that matters. We all brought comic books, and we were ostracized to be in a group together. And they're like, all right, you four boys, like, you guys have to go together. You were the weird ones. And we were like, fuck yeah. Like, and it's like we traded that, like, there was a camaraderie. It's like, oh, this, you watch this, you know this, like, and it was just immediate. And I've been fortunate to have a lot of friendships that have lasted that long. So making movies that don't have horror, but still have heart and humor, that's what we're continuing to do. And it's interesting to even bring up All Your Friends Are Dead and Sweetmeats, not just being our first two movies. Almost budgetarily, we're going to try to make the thing we're announcing is 2 movies. NKY Films is doing 2 movies within 1 calendar year. And the first one's going to be filmed in December of 2025. It's going to be called Casually Cool. And it's going to be for a budget of between $7,000 and $10,000. It's going to be made in a lot of the same ways that All Your Friends Are Dead was made. But smarter.
But better.
but smarter. Like, here's our second bite at the apple. Yep. Right?
We're legitimately going after a smaller budget.
And it's not horror.
Scrappy.
It's going to be, right.
It's a murder mystery, like a Rockford Files, very low rent. You know, it's about a guy in a small town, but he's a big player. And he's got his own life and how all that interacts with a murder mystery that literally washes up on his front door.
That wraps up within, it's a 2-parter. So it's one of those bigger episodes. So Jim Rockford has a big emotional, or Thomas Magnum or, Murder, She Wrote, they're having, this is a sweeps week. So 2-parter.
Episode.
And so maybe foreign, it's released as a movie, retitled and named something else because those sell pretty well overseas. Like Man from U.N.C.L.E. used to do that. They would put 2 episodes together, release it overseas. Columbo, I think, would do that as well.
Yeah, Columbo.
I was going to say Columbo, yeah.
That's why Peter Falk was fucking huge.
I got one more question.
It's like, and that's, most of the time the villains gave up because they were just browbeaten
He's
like
so
by him.
smart.
Like,
That's Columbo.
he's just fucking tired of this idiot and his lazy eye. God.
I felt like
Oh,
they tried to bring that back
still
a
one
little
more
bit
question.
when Tony Shalhoub came
Yes,
to
with
do
Monk.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I
And
was
there's
glad
a
we
little
got
bit of that with Psych.
Columbo
There's a little bit
reboot.
of that with
Yeah.
this. Hunter and I were talking about all these as we were coming up with this story and figuring out, like, okay, well, maybe it has kind of like some of the anachronisms of even Sweetmeats, that it's not a period piece, but
it's
is
of a time
of its own, like long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
It's like, it looks like that,
alternate 1985.
but like we're not like going to be beholden to. That's one of the best Nick Hyance notes of Sweetmeats was we had a self-deprecating joke in the narration to call out anachronisms that you would see within the movie because we couldn't hide everything, and we knew them, we saw them, and that wouldn't fit to like 1978 because that's when we said originally in the narration when the movie happens. And he's Hyance, as we were doing the edit, he's just like, man, he's like, I don't like making this like joke basically before someone else could, like as a negative. He's like, that's not. Doesn't that feel cheap? Like, doesn't that feel gross? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't like it either, but like, this is the hand we're dealt. We're making a $22,000 movie. And
this
then
is
he
all
said,
we have to work with. So
and
we
then he
have to make it
said,
work.
yeah, you got puzzle pieces, and like, it might not look like the thing you thought it was going to, but you're going to put together something. But he said then the best thing, which wasn't like, well, I don't know what the fuck, like, he didn't throw his hands up. He said, well, can't we just cut out of the voiceover narration that line where we say it's 1978 and then we don't have to use the joke about the anachronisms? And I was like, yeah.
So
He's
this
like,
is something that Ricky and I talk about all the time.
all the time.
Especially when it comes to the horror genre, especially now. No, we
Yes,
do.
yes,
When I
yes,
say this,
yes,
you're going to be
yes.
like, oh, yeah, we do talk about it all the time.
No,
It's
I know
the
what it is.
idea that the horror genre is either completely terrified of technology or the movie's about technology. There is no in between. You know,
I absolutely agree with that. There was something that I was watching the other night, and I had to make mention of it. There was a Fright Fest movie that played 213 Bones. It's not bad, but it takes it back to 1993, which I always think is kind of a cop-out when you're going back to like pre-cell phone and pre-internet era. Like, it's one thing if it's, you're setting it in that period of time, but like it's also the weirdest period because it's like Scream isn't big
Candyman.
yet, so you're like,
Yeah, it's pre-Wes Craven's New
it's-
Nightmare. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So,
how I
like,
think of horror
it's-
movies. So if you're going to put your horror movie in there, I'm just like, are we
Oh.
going to see fucking Leprechaun? Like, or like what?
So
Yeah, what's straight
Silence
to
of the
video?
Lambs, like, that's, like, you're like-
Hellraiser 4 by Kevin Yeffer. Like, I don't know if that's that around that time. Bloodlines.
Bloodlines, yeah.
What a weird.
I think
And
that's
so-
1995 though too, isn't it?
Yeah. I think you're right.
93 was 3. I think.
Yeah, Halloween
93.
Resurrection time. Like there, I used to be a little bit nerdier about like knowing what each franchise, their exact years, and like the reasons
Oh,
why one would come out before it. Like the Fangoria magazines. Like I used to be like, oh,
yeah, Fangoria
No.
for sure.
lines chasing the heels of Jason with in production quickly after A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is within the same calendar year, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Dream Child. Like I just remember so much of that because it was like the space race of the 60s was from like
How fast can we get
1980, exclude 78. That's like Chuck Yeager, right? That's like breaking the sound barrier or whatever. That's a different thing. That's the precursor to the space race
Chuck
of like
Yeager?
the right stuff.
I'm gonna live check you right now.
Yeah, live check.
What
I could just
was-
be making up names. I've
First
what I was
episode back, we're
trying
already
to
checking
say
for misinformation.
yeah. Well, good.
So the horror genre either embraces technology and because it's the name of the movie, or they avoid it at all costs. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorites that did this wisely was Jordan Peele's first of Get Out, where the whole idea with the cell phone was always out of battery because somebody was unplugging it. Very, very cool. Whereas in other times it's like, well, man,
someone is literally disconnecting you from life support.
Correct. There's a reason it exists rather than we want to avoid it, because if the protagonist just would have Googled a thing, they would have realized that the house was haunted and they never would have went into it, and then there is no movie.
Yeah.
But the thing that we always talk about is like, why are we addressing it anyway? Why are we talking about it? Why are we focusing on it? Like, we wrote a script called Slasher High. Spoiler, there's a killer that comes into a high school and kills people. And we even had a joke of just like, oh, well, cell phones don't really work in schools because of how they're made, and, you know, big bricks and concrete and just old building types. It's in cell hell. But like, at the end of the day, like, I think we mentioned that like once, and then we just completely forget that cell phones even exist because there's a fucking killer in the high school who's trying to kill people.
Well,
like,
no, we did research. You asked your niece,
my niece,
if there were
Okay.
cell phone
Yes.
blockers in the
Also true.
school. If there were
Yes.
area, like,
You said
what
no,
is? Yeah,
it
I think
was-
I didn't. You didn't lead her. You were just like, "What's the cell phone sitch?"
Yeah.
Like in high school, and she's like, "Well, most of the areas, like most places, you got to turn your phone in, or it's blocked off, like a safe area, like that you can go for
like
emergencies,
in a corner of a
Yeah.
bathroom or whatever. I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
up Chuck Yeager right now, just so you know.
I think broke the speed of sound, or
I'm
not
just
speed
gonna-
of light.
So he did a bunch of stuff, and this Wikipedia article is massive. So I'm just going to put
Yeah, but it
sound.
should be like the first thing.
Yes, he is the first
Yes.
pilot in history confirmed to have exceeded the speed of sound
Again,
in level.
it's not because of
light.
history. It's because of the movie The Right Stuff. Like it's
Oh.
because of a movie that I know.
And by the way, the X-Men comic that we were talking about before
Yeah.
with Bishop is called Bishop's Crossing.
I wonder if brother Eric would have known that.
I remember having multiple copies of that comic book.
Really? So
yeah,
again, yeah,
casually
so-
cool.
Casually cool. To bring it all back is, again, we're not putting it in the late 70s or even early 70s, like the detective, like Burt Reynolds was on a detective show. Mannix was a big thing. Like that was the decade of these detective mystery shows that kind of had the kitchen sink. Amazing guest stars, heightened drama, women of the week, actions, like, you know, Michael Mann.
Special guests.
Michael
like-
Mann
It was
cuts his
kinda-
teeth. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that genre, in that
Yep.
era.
It is kind of the dawning of like the procedural, especially courtroom drama and things like that too.
Yep.
All of that stuff was coming out then. That's really, and I mean, it was all attributed to sort of General Hospital and the
Oh,
Days of
yeah.
Our Lives.
Yeah,
motif.
soap operas.
So-
yeah.
Oh, soap. Yeah, I was going to say soap operas in general.
Soaps. It's heightened soaps. It's soaps for disgruntled has-been film actors.
40 something.
Yeah. But yeah. But so again, like heart and humor, even like when we go so hard into something like with Casually Cool, we're going to talk about these projects as they're going to be happening, not as they're conceived. When we talk about Trudy next, we'll talk about how chronologically that came before and, you know, kind of spawned Casually Cool.
Okay, but before we go on to Trudy,
Yeah.
because I did want to ask.
Yeah,
you, 'cause you
I
did
don't.
send me
Yeah, I
some-
don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to get out of Casually Cool.
Let him handle
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah, you did. You did send me all that stuff on Casually Cool, and I saw I guess it's an intro or something.
A demo intro based off of some stuff that Mr. Eric M. Hunter and I did a scouting of the location where Casually Cool will take place. So like we were saying before, like Jim Rockford, he's in California and, you know, in like a city, like a big city. And it's
Miami
like, ooh,
Vice.
Miami
Miami
Vice,
Vice,
right?
right.
Magnum PI is Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you have these locales, and we're like, what if it's like that, but it's like Christopher Guest, like kind of what we do, and we can have fun with these like weird characters, or kind of, even though like it's not my favorite show, but Twin Peaks, like we can have these kind of more eccentric, because it's going to be a comedy. That's the thing we're always going to do to some degree, that we decided like, well, we're not going to just do horror. We would like to do other stuff if we can, and that's why we're doing this. But we want to kind of do our version, our recipe of our favorite genres, of our favorite films that have happened. And Casually Cool is the first kind of version of that, although I think All Your Friends Are Dead technically is that. Sweetmeats technically
Sweetmeats is definitely that.
Is definitely that. That's South exploitation. Burt Reynolds drive.
Sweetmeats is
like
definitely
a low rent
that.
Burt Reynolds drive-in movie. But
I don't know, man. I think Burt Reynolds owned that entire spectrum. So
of all of it, no, he did. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have White Lightning, which that is hardcore. I mean, you have. Oh, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just. I opened up a well. I'm so sorry.
What's the Navajo Joe?
Yeah,
is that it? Navajo Joe, where he plays a full-on brown, red-faced Indian.
Sure.
He was like a quarter Native American or something. But he was. You're right. I'm sorry. You were 100% right. Burt does. Even your mom, I know very distinctly.
Burt did your mom.
My mom?
Well, would have loved to.
12
Mrs.
inches of
Hunter
Burt Reynolds?
is a lovely woman. But your
Mrs.
mom
Hunter is a lovely woman.
Multiple times when I'd come over to your house in high school, she'd be
sitting. Like, you mean recently? When you
probably. She would be watching whatever satellite or whatever, because you lived out in the farm, television channel of Burt Reynolds on Bonanza.
As a quick aside, so we can get back to Casually Cool. My mom used to work My mom used to work at many a video store. So before there was a Blockbuster, before there was a movie gallery, there was a video town, there was a video palace, and she worked at all these mom and pop video shops. Again, nobody knows what any of this shit means. Standees were a big thing back then.
Love cardboard cutouts.
Cardboard cutouts. My mom had a cardboard cutout of Chuck Norris from Hard Times or something, the movie where he's got fake long mullet hair and he's wearing a black jacket, like duster jacket with a shotgun. That thing was in my mom's bedroom for years.
You liked it
for years.
Oh, what was she looking at when you were conceived?
100.
Chuck
Can we do
Norris.
a doggy style so I can see Chuck Norris? Like,
Chucky.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, before Child's Play comes out, she's like, "Ooh, I love Chucky.
I love Chucky." Welcome back, Sean Parker. Thanks for having us on our first episode.
But no, that's
again, we've gotten into.
That's what this is all about, though.
Interesting territory.
It's the shit. I love your Phantasm box set up there, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah.
Ball Blu-rays, but
the ball of Blu-rays.
Even that is part of this. That kind of like 1978 look and vibe, because we are going to lean into with Casually Cool. So not just with our humor, our irreverent, like absurd humor, because Eric and I, and even Hyance, we wrote a script and developed a script that has heart, that has humor. It is 100% a procedural 2-part episode. And we just
of a murder mystery.
We will decide
night.
how much we want to lean into that.
Yeah.
If it is like a lost thing of a thing, that's not what we're leaning into right now. But like, we're just going to execute this as earnestly as possible, and everybody on board. Timmy is going to play RF Cool, who is our like Jim Rockford.
Timmy,
Thomas
who
Magnum,
was
Jerry and Sweetmeats, who
he's amazing.
Two people that if they said, I've already said this to them, if they said yes to everything I offered them, I would be so happy. Timmy Barron and Eileen Ernest. And so Timmy Barron will be
Eileen, who was
Blatty in Sweetmeats, and Sarah Sunray.
Even back further.
And All Your Friends Are Dead and Killed Off Way Too Soon. R.I.P.
We can talk about that when we start talking about Truly Treating.
Yes. And so, yeah, again, that goes with things we've learned. The more you know. Casually Cool, RF Cool, Timmy Barron. We have a lot of returning people already signed on for the movie, for the
crew
dates,
too.
The shooting
we
dates.
still have a lot of people from previous productions who are like, "What
Producers,
are you doing next?
Yeah.
I want in." And it's like,
yeah.
It's okay. Well,
we may be getting. We've got some local sponsors already, and I say this in all honesty that we didn't have to Ed Wood this at all so far. Like, we don't have our budget
Not yet.
But yeah, like, we're not having to be like, and whose cousin or nephew do I got to put in this movie? Do you? I have to
just take all your friends to get baptized this weekend.
All your friends are baptized.
Yeah, all your friends are baptized. We'll make that Christian version of the movie where Matt Wilby doesn't hang
that's
himself
what happens
in
in Ed Wood.
Jesus.
No thanks.
That's the whole scene in Ed Wood with Bill Murray going, how do you get all of your friends to show up on a Sunday?
Yes.
That's the movie I haven't seen.
It's so good. It's so good.
I love that movie.
But so like so far, everybody who's supported this movie, a lot of them have come on from Sweetmeats or even as far back as All Your Friends Are Dead. They're on board for the timeline that we want to do this, for the budget that we're going to do it. Because again, it was written in a way that we're just like, all right, if it's our humor and it's a Rockford Files or that detective kind of show style, like they have they have these set pieces. We got the story, we got the heart and the humor. Like now we have to put in these set pieces. Okay, so it's a car chase, but like we can't do a car chase.
Can't do a car chase. We could do a chase on scooters. It's in the movie.
And we have a lot of
That's right.
and we can tie it into a story element or a narrative element that happens like for these beats to happen. We live right next to the James Gunn recently used Hall of Justice. So we're just like,
Superman.
why wouldn't it's in Cincinnati? Like, why wouldn't we have that be the front of the fucking library? Like, you don't have to have a permit to film there. It's a public space. It's a city-owned space. We looked it up. I looked it up because Hyatt has already fucking questioned me about this.
We're making sure we're not breaking the law. We are not breaking the law.
We are not breaking the law.
Just make sure that there's no insignias on it that Warner Brothers owns. That's
No. They don't have anything up. No, they had to digitally put in Hall of Justice over the front. It's a complete blank facade. And we're going to use the whole landscape of it because it's got this beautiful rose garden and fountain thing going forward. And that'll work perfect for the scooter chase. And again, we have these this movie, like those TV shows, we are going to, because we grew up here, it's going to be our once upon a time in Hollywood love letter to like Hollywood, but it's to Silver Grove, Kentucky, where like Eric kind of grew up at, and his uncle had a video store.
My mom was born and raised and went to school there. My wife was born and raised and went to school there.
There's
uncle.
A Dairy Mart that
there's a dairy
everyone gets
bar.
very excited when it opens.
Yep. We have a local artist who makes almost like life-sized 5-foot statues that sit on just benches that he just puts on benches.
It's
so
a
like
ceramic giant
Easter,
statue. When we were
around Easter, it's a bunny.
The intro that you're mentioning,
Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Yep.
The intro that you were mentioning, when Eric and I scouted Silver Grove, and I was just like, yeah, and it's on the Ohio River, right? And it feeds up to Cincinnati, which we also grew up with. But we also understood that mentality of like, people from Northern Kentucky, you don't go across the river. Anything that you could get there, you could get here in Kentucky. You don't need to go there. Those are city folk. And like, we're not fucking farm people. I mean, you were literally a farm person.
Yeah, I was going to say, I grew up on a 20-acre farm. But it goes back to the thing we were talking about before about Florida, California, Hawaii.
Yeah.
People forget that these
New
small
York,
towns.
even.
Yeah. People forget that these small towns have just as much, probably more, heart and feeling and community. And it was one of the things when we were writing Casually Cool that I kept pressing Ricky on. I was like, we have to make sure that the city is a character in this movie. Like everybody's affected by it. The city changes as the characters change. From
and the city being next to a bigger city, a big brother city, like not even just big brother city, a shadowing city.
Yeah.
That is literally shadowing it across this river that they share. Like they share a river. Like, so there should be, that's where the heart would come in of just being like, you shouldn't be so hard on them. Like, you got to trust them. Like, blah, blah. That idea.
But it is
also,
straight up like it's a
murder mystery.
No, the city of Silver Grove.
It starts off, there's a dead mermaid.
There's a dead mermaid
washed up on the shore.
But it's a one traffic light town. You know what I mean? So like when the dairy bar opens, it's a big deal because it's a reason to get
advertise.
Out.
Like there's a line of people fucking waiting. Yeah. So over the stuff like, so the intro that we did, that was just based off of footage that we took while scouting the area. Like that Uncle Sam, when we were there in July, was on the park bench for 4th of July. But then Eric was like, he puts one up every season, and it's a different like, mascot for the bench or for
and
the
it's
town.
Beautiful because it's like, why is he doing this?
And I'm like,
oh, he's expressing himself creatively, and it's like,
the best
man, this is it. Like, we need all of this in the movie.
The best opening of television shows like Sopranos, Mannix, Magna P. Like, so we were like, okay, can we capture the look and the feel? And so I'm going to integrate. I was doing some shows in Tennessee on this lake. So that was kind of a harbor thing, which kind of plays into Casually Cool because it's on the river. So I got some B-roll there. I had some B-roll when scouting with Hunter. Heinz had some B-roll. I found this weird, like, tourist come to Cincinnati video from like 1988 or something. And so a lot of the dramatic, like really good looking shots are from that. But I integrated all that stuff together in a Mannix kind of style before even realizing that it was Mannix. I was more thinking like De Palma into one of the songs, which is going to be the opening theme, because our script has it broken down with when a song is playing in the background. So we're trying to, like, on our level that we can, I guess the closest conduit that I can think to this is Quentin Tarantino. Like, he picks songs because he can pay for whatever he wants. But what if we wrote songs how we want them to be and make the soundtrack while making the movie? And so we did that with Sweetmeats, and we did that a little bit with All Your Friends Are Dead, a lot of contributing artists that were amazing. But I was just like, well, I really like, if we're going to do this vibe thing, like, I want to make this like yacht rocky, like late 70s, early 80s soundtrack with a little bit of like bluesy Fleetwood Mac or like Blood, Sweat and Tears, like kind of paying tribute to the earlier 70s. But I was like, so that intro, that's how I put that together. I was like, and let's slap a VHS look on it. Like if it was an opening television theme. And it was just literally to see, I was on the trip back from Tennessee. I had 3 hours to kill. I was sitting in the back seat on my phone and using the Splice app. I had downloaded all these things and I was just like, all right, let's put this bitch together.
So I got a kick out of it because when I start watching it, the first thing that hits my mind is this is what would come on after whatever we were watching on Saturday night ended. And, you know, okay,
when it was
kids,
time for
it's
bed.
time to go to bed. Yeah, here comes the weird, like, city things, silk stockings
All right, guys,
is starting,
bedtime.
you know, like...
Oh, silk stock. Yo, yeah, USA up all night. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. So just...
Ready for
that
those
was the vibe it
girls
gave me.
gone
I thought
wild
it was- I
commercials?
think it's really perfect for what you're doing. So...
Were you able?
Did
you listen to any of the songs, or did you look
I
at
did.
anything
So
else?
I definitely heard that you go with
Pat Ricky on the
go
back.
with the flow like a man. The first one I heard that about 10 times because it's in the
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a really good song.
The
It is, it's
television version is edited to be shorter. Yeah.
There's one halfway through the soundtrack that is like a hole in the wall.
Hole in the wall bar. Yeah.
Hole in the wall bar. I really liked that. I thought that one
We
was
have
really
to
good.
promote so the KN8 Printing, who has worked with us, worked with me for a long time, first did copies of this thing that I took when I sold and did things for stand-up called Napkin Thoughts. And it was this husband and wife couple of Bellevue, Kentucky, which is a rock throw from me in Newport, Brian and Sarah Laley. Don't throw them at glass houses.
Don't throw rocks.
You can throw rocks. Just don't throw
rocks at all. Why are you picking up rocks and throwing them?
houses?
I've never heard a saying don't throw rocks. I've heard kick rocks.
What's the insurance like in a glass house?
Well, you built the glass house. I don't think you have insurance.
Oh, you thought it was cool, didn't you? You thought it'd be real quick. Well, we're going to put a horror movie in here. How about that?
I'm going to make people watch me while I shit. I live in a glass house.
You have done this before.
boundaries. No.
No,
This is our walks. This is our production
35
meeting.
years.
This is dialogue.
Yeah.
This is, you are hearing, this is how we come up with our dumb dialogue where we're like, oh, save that bit. Like, literally, Eric wrote the beginnings of a possible, probably future animated thing or children's book called We Lost a Giant Today.
Oh, yeah.
Because Eric is an author. So, like, finally, with these two movie projects, our worlds come together.
I'm going to go grab
like,
a thing now.
I'm like, I want you to be part of our movies and stuff. And him being friends with Heinz and stuff and being part of our first movie we ever made, Dead Woods, back in 2005, which was our poor attempt at George Romero. It was a 15-minute short with 15-minute short Dead Woods with how long? An hour of special features?
Oh, so we're talking about Dead Woods?
Well, I'm just saying you being part of the fold, but now being back in the fold as far as like creatively, you being an author with like Kisses for Andrew, Grave Garden, and Door in the Sky, all on Amazon. So Kindle or physical, right? But so he made what did that call it? So we have a cool scene.
So
in
these are
Cincinnati.
zines. It's a zine,
and there's a festival.
Zine Cincinnati, which is put on by Independent North America Book Shop Inc. is what they're called. Great people over there. Anyway, who died, Ricky? I don't remember who died. Somebody died.
I take it. I got this from the literal context.
Yes.
So
Oh, okay. You already got. Okay, so every
I'm already
time
there. Yeah.
you're already there.
Yeah.
But
So it's
So,
three guys
here's-
who are discussing. Well, we lost a giant today. They're like, well, I didn't lose a giant. You were
so
in charge
it becomes
of the
a pointing
giant.
fingers, like
Yeah.
children's book story.
Yeah, that's.
And it's just like, what do you mean
Yeah.
I lost a giant? I'm like, we
Like-
all work for the giant company. Like,
Yeah.
I think we all have to take the hit for this
So,
one.
but the whole
like-
thing started because like somebody famous died, and you're like, "Oh, did you hear so and so died?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
I think my
He's like,
exact bitchy words were, God, you know what I'm fucking tired of hearing? Every time someone with a little bit of fame and success.
"Oh, we lost a
which
giant today."
Oh, we lost a giant.
Who loses a giant?
But I was like, every time I read it, what makes me laugh though is I literally think like this is just the beginning of a conversation. It's just like, hey, I'm tweeting everyone. We lost, like, because you know these
Hey.
vague tweets, like, we lost a giant
Yeah.
today. Here's how it started.
Thoughts and prayers.
I came across a tweet at the time, I think it might have still been Twitter, because this is a few years ago where we came up with this
Dead
on a walk.
naming it?
on a long walk we were doing. And I think we were walking in Bellevue, and I brought up to Eric, I was like, you know what? I saw a tweet today that said, we lost a giant today, ... And I hate those because, but I was like, I hate it because it suckers me into Googling who died.
Who is it? So
Are you kidding me? If any old person is suddenly trending on like Yahoo or Google or whatever, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God, they're dead. Like immediately, that's where my head goes. Is like,
But if
If
you'd
we're
have
talking-
just seen that they were dead, you would have cared less. There's something about that baity like nature of seeing
it's
something
trying to
where
get
it's like,
clicks, man.
yeah, right. Like they do a story about
Again.
Danny Glover and they make it like the title ambiguous, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
once a legend, like blah blah. blah.
Steve
And you're like,
Carell
fucking Danny
was found
Glover.
alive on
I wouldn't-
September 10th,
if it doesn't fit the
2025.
entire title on the
Right.
thing, you're like, oh
Yeah.
God, I
I
gotta know.
met Danny Glover, and I really wouldn't care. I don't want him to die tomorrow, but like, it's not. I'm gonna be like, oh man, I really enjoyed his films. Like,
Yeah.
and I met him once, and he was very nice.
He's going to think the same
Very
thing
kind.
about you when you pass. Like, man,
100%.
Ricky
I don't-
Glore.
I don't think
Really
Danny
enjoyed
someone
this
knows about
tweets-
Ricky's films.
No one's, I don't think Danny Glover has seen.
Man, rest in
He's
peace.
in a weird Clockwork
he's still
Orange
alive. I just hope he
situation.
He's still alive.
And he's
yeah.
just being shown sweetmeats over and over. That's how I get associated as weird
Gross.
Ricky Glore obsessed fan kidnapped Danny Glover and subjected him to the Ricky Glore Film Festival for a month and a half.
It's just the whole scene from Red Dragon, but
Oh,
instead
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Sweetmeats
yeah.
that's playing.
Ah.
Do you see?
Good movie.
You see?
That's
You
a very
see?
good movie.
And then and then the guy who is the
Takes his jacket off and he's got the Sweetmeats
except he's
poster
like
tattooed
super
on his
fat.
back.
He's just super fat, and he's just like, yeah, you see that? And the guy's like, no. He's like, okay, I got it. I was a lot smaller when I first got
All
this
right.
tattoo, but
know what
it's
that
like
is?
the Grim Reaper,
mush.
and it's like
It's super cool.
it's super fucking metal. If I'll lose
God,
the weight
be
again.
Scared.
Yeah,
Just be
God.
scared.
Sound like
God,
my mom.
tremble.
That's we're gonna go get that for you. Mom, he
Tremble
won't let me
before
cut his toes off.
Got the Grim Reaper
Bitch.
tattooed on my back. He's coming for
What
you.
were we talking about?
You know why I tattooed him on my back? Because he's always behind me, right? He's always behind me, bro.
He's right behind
He's
me.
right behind you. He's always getting you any day now. So what we were talking about, and we'll close the tab.
John Parker,
on-
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my
Right
God.
back. Episode's
Yeah.
back.
Well, welcome back.
It is the soundtrack for Casually Cool, the music Hole in the Wall bar. We're going back to that. People who gave to us, KN8 printed stuff for us. Sweetmeats, they donated a lot of printing. Any logos that you see in the movie was printed by them. They printed our posters. Goes back as far as napkin thoughts for that book. They're a local Cincinnati printing company
yeah.
that has just been fantastic to work with. Just understanding independent artists, understanding giving discounts, donating if you ask, just being that indie great spirit. And I didn't know the owner by name for a long time until Sweetmeats, where he personally reached out and he was just like, I'd like to be executive producer on this. He's like, I'm willing to donate X amount of printing and it will be gratis, if we can be a producer on it. I was like, 100%. I was like, yeah, why not? Like, of course, that's no brainer. And
We're
his name is,
constantly pushing back
Yeah.
on the narrative that you don't have to be in Hollywood to make a movie.
oh,
you know,
yeah,
like
Yeah.
the bigger
I
scope.
recently turned back onto, and again, Ricky's heard this 1,000 times, Robert Rodriguez's book that he just released as an audiobook. He narrates himself, A Rebel Without a Crew. And the things that he talks about in that book, it's constantly pushing back on like, these movies don't have to be $150 million to make. Like, we can be scrappy. We can stay local. We can ask people to, for instance, like talking about the soundtrack, we were teamed up now with a band called White Lighter, and they're doing a lot of the music.
Sorry, I was connecting that through the location through K&A, the main primary location of the bar that is featured in Casually Cool, that a band plays a song, Hole in the Wall Bar, during a chili cook-off, which is the third act, where the killer's revealed and everything culminates. Very dramatic, very Barry Lyndon, like a lot of pomp and circumstance for this small-town chili cook-off. And murder!
I love hearing just all these little tidbits and not knowing where they fit in yet, because like the chili cook-off,
because we're playing in
murder
our heads
reveal scene,
24/7.
killer reveal scene.
I
This
love
is
that
great.
because that's what we're hoping for anybody that is like taking a chance on like watching anything that we've done or staying with us or maybe coming on board with Sweetmeats. It's just like, okay, so if you dig that, it's going to be like that, but it's going to be over here and it's a murder mystery. Like if you dislike Clue, which I don't love Clue. Hunter loves Clue, but that's why
Clue.
I think that's why we work together.
Kick him out, Sean. We can just
I think that's why Casually Cool works, is a lot of what Hunter brought to the table of just holding like the feet to the fire of like how Hyance does in certain things with jokes and what we're willing to do. You, Hunter, are very, because you come from a novel background, you're like, okay, but like, where does this go? Like you kind of
need signposts.
Yeah,
we need things that, so like, again, when
red
we were writing
herrings,
the
like
script
more
and
red
coming up with
herrings.
the idea, and I was just like, look, this all sounds great, and I think we could probably do it, but like, again, with the heart, like there needs to be heart in this movie. This movie kind of needs to be funny, and if we're doing a murder mystery, we kind of need to make it a murder mystery. Like we need to make it a Rockford File-esque monk.
We
Murder,
keep
She
saying
Wrote,
Rockford File because
we
we grew up on all those shows that we've mentioned, like Simon and Simon and all those different, I mean, BL Stryker, Burt Reynolds show, like
12 inches.
We only watched because we've grown up on them. We have this cursory knowledge. We don't want to make a 1-to-1, but
we're kind of making like our dad's version of this.
Our
movie.
version of our dad's thing.
When
we would watch it, how we would interpret it.
Like, this is weird. This is
yeah,
too,
like this is horny. It's like it's horny. It's weirdly horny. So like, just put it on Front Street.
I wouldn't have said horny.
Or it's like, oh man, this writer, like now in retrospect, couldn't fucking find subtext with a shovel. Like, so we're gonna put it on Front Street because we're just gonna do. Like one of the running jokes and one of the biggest scenes with Eileen Ernest being back as the second lead for Casually Cool. Yeah. But I'm just closing that tab from before. Timmy is the lead in this in every scene. Eileen isn't in every scene, is not going to be in it as much because we're going to flip that for the second movie. But one of the scenes she's in, and the relationship with the lead character, her husband, semi-ex-husband, she has this big, like, Meryl Streep, like, grandiose scene where she talks about, like, never buying the extended warranty. That's just a fool's, like, that's just throwing money away and blah, blah, blah. And it's just...
I know we fight about this all the time.
But it gets super specific. It gets super specific and like goes on too long that it's just like, Jesus Christ, this writer is just like...
Don't do it. Don't buy extended warranties. It's not worth it.
But so not that exists, not that like us saying that, like that's the bad version of it. I think that's the version that most people remember because when something went hot, there was a ton of ripoffs, which mostly were bad and great for syndication and reruns. But we watched one episode to refreshen up on that genre, and it was Rockford Files, season 1, episode 18, Sleight of Hand. And it literally starts off with a woman bodies washed up on the shore and him walking down the beach. And I was like, okay, this is how we're going to start in Silver Grove. And it's going to be a very much looking like a princess party, Ariel, Little Mermaid, young actress in a costume washed up on the banks of the Ohio River. Nasty banks, nasty water.
No, that was Heinz. When we told Heinz,
We
like, hey, we
had
got
this.
this great
We
idea.
had this though. We'd had
did.
this. We had it written out because the opening is. We really honed in on the opening first. We're like, what is the opening right before that fucking theme song? Like
right before
snaps
the
it.
theme song
Like, you
and the
gotta
first
set-
commercial break. How do we
you
draw
gotta
in
keep them? We were
just like in the
constantly
show.
reading,
Yeah.
like while writing, like how do we get them past the commercial? Right? It's a little longer than the rest of the commercial breaks throughout because you want to keep them. You don't want to lose them too quick. And so we're like, all right, we have these weird little things, these weird little signposts for the murder mystery. And then we presented it to Heinz. And we're like, all right, here's an idea we have. We're going to do 2 movies in 1 calendar year. Hear us out. And he's just like,
Are you
Jesus
sitting down?
Christ. And we're like, it's Rockford Files, blah, blah, blah. And we don't go into the specifics, just the vibe. And he's like, okay. He's like, I'm in as long as it starts off with a dead body washed up on the beach.
It's so funny. You should say that.
And we were like, ah!
This is exactly what we wrote. And I was like, Heinz is in. We're done. We just need to finish it now.
We locked it.
Yeah.
So the music, White Lighter, is going to, I think, be the band that appears also in Casually Cool at the Chili Cook-Off at
So
the Hole in
again,
the Wall
the
bar.
taking like core components, core actors, core crew,
Team.
utilizing them for 2 films over 1 calendar year. That is what we're trying to achieve.
And so yeah, you finish whatever you want about Casually Cool, and then we can.
Well, this is good because I think we're transitioning into the other one now, and I just want to make sure I'm
That's
on
how
the
this
right
works,
page
Ricky.
here.
It's
Is
called
that
it's a soft transition.
Oh,
yeah, right?
So I'll
I'm trying
mention
to
just
help.
for the
Unpopular,
yeah.
ladies and
I mean,
gentlemen.
I-
Right back.
No,
I'm
for the
supposed to be hosting. You guys are doing great though.
No, for the crowd fund though, to mention like where this comes in, that when this is announced right now, it is live, is an Indiegogo that we are modeling it after. We know the hardships of it not being horror, so we're losing that market. So we're reaching. So we immediately lose all the podcast connections for the most part that
From
we had
Sweet
done for
Meats.
Sweet Meats and All Your Friends Are Dead. Like, and that list tripled because we are still horror. We are still in the horror genre. So we're like, all right, what is the gimmick? But it's not a gimmick to like is going to kill us because we're going to do something we don't want to do. And it's like, all right, 2 films in calendar year. This is how we do it. Like Hunter and I talked about it because like, all right, we got to bring this to Heinz.
We have to resell it.
We have to resell it because we were talking Truly Trudy, the next thing we're about ready to talk about. So the thing that we pitched with the 2 films in 1 year is, here's how we planned it out, and we'll get everybody on board now. And if we do this now, we agree to this, we'll have the most pre-production we've ever had for any of our movies. We can have time off and our day jobs to do this because you use it or lose it at our jobs. And we can make this movie, and it's far out enough that we can probably get people committed to it, the people that we want, like our wish list, like Timmy and Eileen and a handful of other people. And I think on the scope and scale that it is, if we did like an Indiegogo, like they did Mystery Science Theater, where there are tiers, that it opens up more things once a goal has been reached.
More
Like,
movie.
Yeah. And it's so Casually Cool. It's just like, here's the $7,000 goal, is Casually Cool.
We're trying to make Casually Cool is the idea.
We are going to get outside investments that aren't necessarily in this number to make this bigger thing, these 2 movies that we want to do. But if we can get $7,000 here on Indiegogo, we're only going to offer perks that are cheap to make, like an exclusive Blu-ray, like that we love creating, that we've done for our past 2 films. Sweet Meats, the Troma Blu-ray, they are working on it. I don't know the release date. We've already done some extra special features for it. Lloyd's filmed an extra new intro that I kind of wrote, that he rewrote while filming.
He's not mad about that at all.
No, I mean, just, fucking when you're all right.
You got
but
to hear right there. You just get the.
so no, I love that he is still saying dumb stuff that I've written. That's a dream come true. That's
And still
crazy.
supporting.
Still supporting.
Yeah.
He is supporting. You will see on when you go to the Indiegogo for this, he is one of the support videos. And a thing we didn't mention that will help transition to this. So the Blu-ray, we're going to sell that. It's going to be more expensive than any other Blu-ray because you're also contributing, make a movie. So it's probably going to be like when this goes live, the Blu-ray is going to be $60. That's as low that we can go for the production, which I think is pretty nice. And just trying to also, that thing of you never give perks for things that are going to cost you more money. You should put that money on the screen. So that's what we're doing.
I think that's fine. I mean, I think $60 standard for any Indiegogo like Blu-ray at this point. Like,
Okay.
Around 50 or 60. That's usually what I see.
And it's exclusive. It literally is. You are never like going to get that. There is going to be things on it that you're not going to get on a real release or whatever. Like the SRS is also special in its own way. So like, because we love 90s commentaries and those DVDs
physical media, putting a thing on a shelf, letting it collect dust.
This bigger goal thing, like when we're looking and thinking about getting the movie seen, which is the bigger, like hardest question to answer, is we believe in that boutique experience with these kind of movies we make. So we are trying to grassroots it, even with utilizing our love for our community and where we came from. We're also trying to do that with I guess fan base or just people who are interested in what we're doing. We want to four-wall this thing. So we're not going to sell it like we did Sweetmeats right off the bat. We're going to put these two movies together and try to roadshow it. And that's part of kind of what this Indiegogo is for too. Our first goal is $7,000. Poster, because K&H's behind it, exclusive poster from there, Blu-ray, producer credit, and probably premiere tickets, which will probably be part of the producer credit as long as the person can come into it, because we've already, through the weird connections we've made as we keep on snowballing, making movies, is we kind of have a pretty cool theater that is probably willing to have the premiere.
I mean, again, local.
Wild. It would be wild.
Yeah.
But so that is what we're offering for $7,000. I know this is the infomercial.
But wait, there's more.
Our next
Does
goal.
it make julienne fries?
It slices. It dices.
Don't you hate when this happens? It's like, let's see. I don't know. Let's see what they're going to do.
I know somebody who knows somebody who
they
hates
Hulkamania a bag of chips. I'm like, what is this product going to be?
I've been there every time.
It's every time. Chips.
Why are these chips so hard to open?
Damn it. But so we are going to need $40,000. And that's then those perks start opening up.
But why?
Because that movie is a much bigger scale. So you heard the soundtrack for Occasionally Cool. I think you listened to one of the mixings for Truly Trudy. Sean, are you able to queue up? White Lighter, this is an exclusive. White Lighter sent this to me via text before this podcast. The probably final mix as this is going live.
It's
You've
just
got
a
it
recording.
first.
Be like, hey, we're not doing this anymore. So, sorry.
I don't know. Is this only playing in my headphones, or can you guys hear that?
I can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
I'm also deaf, so it doesn't help that I can't.
As long as.
New podcasting equipment. What?
No.
I
Sean
don't know
Parker,
what
ladies
the
and
hell I'm
gentlemen.
doing.
He's
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
Back again.
Sean Parker, we were like,
Sean Parker has no idea what he's doing.
do this for us. We're going to throw you a curveball and make you look like, here's an exclusive that you can't
Like I
fulfill
said,
on.
we're trying to introduce multimedia into a website.
I'm sorry. How about this? How about I just play it from my phone and we see how it sounds with the mic?
Or he could just cut it in.
Yes,
I
but
could
we
just
can
play.
all.
We could just play. I could just play it while we were talking. Yeah.
Yeah, but we can.
We don't have to
Isn't
stop.
that lovely?
He can cut it in. Yes, he can
It's
cut
so
it
great.
in. But let it. I want to hear it because I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Wait, hold on.
There we. Yep, that's it. Oh, you had it better before. Yeah, way better.
There you go.
That's way better. Yeah.
Trudy truly dances to the beat of her own drum. What might be right for her may not be right for some. Not a carbon copy, girls in magazines. Style of her own will always get her seen. Trudy truly is confident, though so strong. There is one belief she has that others hope is wrong. Here comes Trudy now. She's just an ordinary girl living in a normal world. A typical Trudy truly wants to go to prom, because on May 29th, 12 a.m., the world will be destroyed by a bomb. Truly, Trudy, truly, Trudy, hopefully you'll see you are all truly what Trudy needs. Yes, you heard that right. The world is gonna end. Trudy truly knows this, so nothing is really bothering them until she learns from her best friend all things high school girls should do. Before 12 a.m. on May 29th, she's not got a bucket list to get through. Things like winning the big game, or stopping a bullying fight, getting a kiss on a slow day.
If you haven't noticed, Ricky wrote all these songs. So.
I kind of figured, yeah.
How is Trudy truly gonna get it all done? She's just an ordinary girl, living in a normal world. A typical teenager getting through the high school year. What makes her special is not her fault. She's the only surviving member of a crazy religious end of the world doomsday dead call. It's a world doomsday.
Oh, wow.
I kind of figured that, like, there's a Full House whole thing going on, like someone's doing laundry, and then all of a sudden there's cult aspects, and
All right. So to jump into Truly Trudy, the whole idea, just a random Sunday afternoon, and I text Ricky, and I had this weird thought. I was like, wouldn't it be weird a girl who's the last surviving member of a death cult, and she just gets thrusted into high school like senior year, and all of a sudden it's a coming of age story. And he was just like, we're running with this. I was like, no, I just think it's weird,
The one
right?
small-
What's up
fun
there?
idea,
We're running
yeah.
One small correction I will say is she's the surviving member of a religious death cult, and she's in some sort of rom-com or coming-of-age story.
Alright, you crazy cats, we're gonna wrap it up here for today. But please join us tomorrow to learn more about Truly Trudy with Ricky Glore and Eric M. Hunter.